Welcome to Legion Builds, where I help you bring your favorite characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to every one of you who subscribes to my channel. I wouldn't do any of this without you guys, so seriously, thank you. Join the Legion today to help decide next week's new character, and oh boy do we get a weird one. From John Carpenter's The Thing, it's The Thing versus Maudr from The Ritual. Two horrifying monsters. Buckle up, we're starting 2024 weird, people. Speaking of weird, if my voice sounds weird at any point in this video, understand that I actually just finally got over COVID. Again, that was a fun week. Today we're bringing in the Lethal Protector, Venom. Venom is a symbiote created by the Lord of the Abyss, Null, an ancient primordial being of evil. The symbiote that became Venom was discovered by Spider-Man on Battleworld, becoming the hero's living suit. Time to fast forward because there's a lot of history here. Eventually, the symbiote was forced off of Spider-Man's body, was discovered by Eddie Brock, and the two became Venom, though this changed hosts multiple times, always staying Venom. Once bonded with a host, Venom enhances the host's body beyond their original state, granting them enhanced reflexes, durability, and strength. They can also create webbing to trap others, cling to surfaces, and eventually they gain the ability to grow wings and summon the dangerous All Black, the first true symbiote in the form of a sword. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. We're using standard point array to make things easy for you, and we are multi-classing, so keep an eye on those minimums, though it's going to be pretty simple. We'll start things off with strength at 15. You are the size of a car and can easily throw one. Charisma flies in at 14. You're sentient goo that somehow can move through force of will. Con will be 13. You are one tough bastard until fire and sound hit you. Being a spacebound race has disadvantages. Dex will be low with a 12. Seriously way too low for you, but we'll fix it later. Wisdom will be a 10. You have poor impulse control and we're dumping intelligence. You're a brute fighter, nothing more, nothing less. Venom is a freaky little ooze, so let's grab a host. Any host will do, but for this we'll be using custom lineage. This grants a free feat with your stat improvement. Place +2 into charisma. For your feat, athlete adds +1 to your strength and improves your movement. When you are prone, you can now stand up using only 5 feet of movement. Climbing doesn't cost extra movement, and you can make a running long or high jump after moving only 5 feet. Dark vision lets you see in dim light as if it's bright, and in dark as if it's dim light out to 60 feet. For background, grab intimidation and perception. Now let's have a little more fun. Open up Van Richten's Guide for a dark gift. Symbiotic being grants you a symbiote creature to bond with you. This symbiote has its own personality and desires and brings its own features. Basically, it's an NPC that you can't get rid of and has adopted you by force. Intertwined existence gives the symbiote its own intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. It has its own senses, can speak 2 languages, one of which you must share, and can give you a new skill. Grab persuasion. Sustained symbiosis makes you a bit tougher. When you fail a saving throw, the symbiote can expend one of your hit dice to add to the roll. Alternatively, you can automatically succeed on a death saving throw and regain 1 HP. You can use this once per long rest. This states you can choose if the symbiote does this, but frankly, I think it should be the symbiote's choice, aka the DM's choice. And why do I think this? Well, because of the final feature. Symbiotic Agenda gives the symbiote a drive of its own, and it may not like you if you don't go along with it. You don't help your symbiote's agenda and generally are not nice to it, the symbiote can attempt to control you. It can force a charisma save, a DC 12 plus the symbiote's charisma, and if you fail, you are charmed for 1d12 hours. While charmed, you must try to follow the symbiote's commands to the best of your abilities, as it is now in charge of things. If you take damage that isn't self-inflicted, you can retake the save and try to end the charm. Have fun with this, and by the way, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to your DM. Okay, let's begin. Level 1 fighters start off with 2 skills. Take acrobatics and athletics. Fighting style makes you a brute with unarmed fighting. Your unarmed strikes are now 1d6 bludgeoning damage when you are holding an item, or 1d8 bludgeoning damage when you are not holding something. And you can automatically deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage to a creature you are grappling with. Second Wind lets you heal yourself 1d10 plus your fighter level. You can do this once per short or long rest. I forgot how weird it is to make videos after having COVID. Fun time right now. Time for some superpowers. Level 1 Warlocks begin with Otherworldly Patron. You were created by a being of pure darkness who creates sentient weapons and molded all symbiotes in his image. Not really, but it sounds cool. Hexblade, found in Xanathars, will work pretty well. Hexblade's curse makes one creature you desire your enemy, and maybe food. With a bonus action, you can curse one creature within 30 feet for 1 minute. While cursed, you deal extra damage to them equal to your proficiency bonus. You land crits against them on 19 or 20, and if the target dies within a minute, you can take a bite out of them and regain HP equal to your Warlock level plus Charisma modifier. Hex Warrior lets you bond with a weapon after a long rest, and you can now use your Charisma modifier for attack and damage. This weapon must lack the two-handed property. Your strength will always be better though, so this doesn't really matter. In all honesty, you can change this out for any other Warlock subclass and it will work. I went with this because it really feels right to me, and I want you to be vicious. Pact Magic makes you a fake spellcaster. Basically, it's your symbiote who's doing all of this, and they aren't as good as a normal spellcaster. You will only have 2 spell slots, but they will level up as you go. You're starting off with 2 cantrips and 2 first level spells. For your spells, Eldritch Blast fires a goo web, that sounds horrific, at a creature out to 120 feet, dealing 1d10 force damage on a hit. Thunderclap lets you slam the ground and hit every creature within 5 feet of you, forcing a con save and dealing 1d6 thunder damage on a failure. Arms of Hadar lets your symbiote go nuts and lash out at every creature within 10 feet of you, forcing a strength save. They take 2d6 necrotic damage on a failure, and now can't take reactions until its next turn. Hex grants you a new way to make someone's life a living hell. Choosing a creature within 90 feet, you curse them. Now, while you maintain this spell for 1 hour, you can deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage when you hit them, and when you curse them, you choose one skill. They now have disadvantage on that skill check while the spell is active. If the creature dies before the spell ends, you can transfer it to another creature with a bonus action. And remember, Hexblade's curse and Hex can be stacked together. It's just going to take a little while since they're both bonus actions. Level 2 Warlocks gain Eldritch Invocations. These are enhancements you receive from your symbiote. For those invocations, Armor of Shadows gives you the spell Mage Armor, and you don't need a spell slot or material components to cast it. This grants you an AC of 13 plus Dex for 8 hours. Now this just gives you magic armor. It doesn't make you look like a giant muscle monster, but talk to your DM. I've used this on an NPC, and I didn't cover the creature's face, but made them look like Bane with a symbiote. Grasp of Hadar lets you grab people with your Eldritch Blast and pull them 10 feet towards you. For your new spell, Shield adds +5 to your AC as a reaction. Level 2 fighters receive Action Surge. You can now give yourself a free action once per short or long rest. Level 3 fighters now have their subclass. Champion, found in the player's handbook, is going to eventually amp you up. It's a really slow burn subclass. Once more, you can switch this out and the build will still work, trust me. Maybe your symbiote has granted you telekinetic abilities or can make you grow to giant sized. Have some fun with this. Improved Critical makes all your attacks crit on a 19 or 20. Your character level 5 now. Thunderclap now does 2d6 damage, and you can fire 2 Eldritch Blasts with a single action. Level 4 fighters earn our first ability score improvement, bump up strength for better attack and damage. Level 5 fighters gain extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Level 6 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Let's get Dex up for better AC, because right now you have nothing. Level 7 champion fighters are remarkable athletes. You can now add half your proficiency bonus to any strength, con, or dex check you are currently not adding your proficiency bonus to, like initiative rolls. You can also increase your total jump distance to a running long jump equal to your strength modifier. Level 8 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Place this into Charisma for better spell attack and DC. Okay, we've held back long enough. we have traditional Venom now. It's time to become the King in Black. Level 3 Warlocks receive a Pact Boon. These are gifts from your patron. Pact of the Blade lets you magically call forth a weapon with an action. This can be any weapon you wish, and you can bond with a magical weapon that you already have. And you can combine this with Hex Warrior, and now you can ignore the two-handed property limitation. Your spells are also upgraded to 2nd level. Make sure to check if any of your spells level up when you cast them higher. For your new spell, Spider Climb lets you cling to any solid surface, like a spider, for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. Your character level 11 now. Thunderclap now does 3d6 thunder damage, and you can fire 3 Eldritch Blasts with a single action. Level 4 Warlocks earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength. For your new spell, Hold Person lets you trap someone in goo webs. Yep, still a weird thing to say. Targeting one humanoid within 60 feet, you force a wisdom save. Should the humanoid fail, they are now paralyzed for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. They can repeat the save at the end of each of their turns, ending the spell on a success. Mage Hand lets you extend your symbiote out like a hand and interact with an object out to 30 feet for 1 minute. They can interact with simple objects and can lift no more than 10 pounds. Level 5 Warlocks gain a new invocation. For this invocation, Improved Pact Weapon adds +1 to your Pact Weapon and makes it your spellcasting focus. Your spells are upgraded to 3rd level. For your new spell, Fly gives you wings and gives you a flying speed of 60 feet for 10 minutes while you maintain this spell. I'm sorry, but am I the only one who thinks it's kind of weird that Venom can fly now? I think web slinging is a pretty fun way of doing things, but yeah, you can't always do that, so... Level 6 Hexblade Warlocks receive a Cursed Spectre. Now when you kill a humanoid, you can call forth a symbiote to serve you. This symbiote uses the Spectre stat block from the monster manual on page 279. While with you, it gains temporary HP equal to half your Warlock level and adds your Charisma modifier to its attack rolls. It obeys all verbal commands and stays with you until you finish a long rest or until it dies. You can do this once per long rest. For your new spell, take what you want. Level 7 Warlocks gain another invocation. For this invocation, Repelling Blast allows you to push a creature you hit with your Eldritch Blast by 10 feet. Your spells are now upgraded to 4th level. For your new spell, Shadow of Moil unleashes your King in Black powers. For 10 minutes while you maintain the spell, small tendrils of darkness lash out from you. First, the area around you becomes darker, turning dim light within 10 feet of you into darkness and bright light into dim light. You now have resistance to radiant damage, and when a creature within 10 feet hits you, they take 2d8 necrotic damage. Level 8 Warlocks earn our final ability score improvement. Place this into Dex for better AC. For your new spell, grab what you want. Level 9 Warlocks now get our final invocation. For this invocation, Otherworldly Leap lets you cast Jump without a spell slot. This means you can now triple your jump distance for 1 minute. You also have your spell slots upgraded to their highest level, 5th. For your final spell, Hold Monster is an upgraded version of Hold Person, but can now target any creature, not just a humanoid. Your character level 17 now. Thunderclap does 4d6 thunder damage, and you can now fire 4 Eldritch Blasts with a single action. Level 9 fighters receive Indomitable. You can now reroll 1 failed saving throw, including death saves between long rests. Level 10 champion fighters gain another fighting style. Great weapon fighting lets you reroll damage of 1 or 2 on the dice when wielding a weapon with 2 hands, as long as it has the two-handed or versatile properties. Our final level is level 11 fighter, and you get extra attack ×2. You can now attack 3 times with a single attack action. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 20, Dex 16, Con 13, Intelligence 8, Wisdom 10, Charisma 18. Your total levels are Fighter 11, Warlock 9. Let's dive in. You are a monster. In combat, you're capable of dealing magical damage, attacks with all black are at +1, and you can attack up to 3 times. You also have great range with your 2 basic powers, dealing 4d6 thunder damage or firing out 120 feet up to 4 times. You crit on 19 or 20, and you can deal extra damage that can equal 6 plus 1d6. You can heal yourself multiple ways, and your range of movement is great with a flying speed of 60 feet or a jump distance of 75 feet. That's not including that fact that you can run up walls. Finally, you have an extra arm to grab. You can push or pull creatures you hit and paralyze them. Downside. Firstly, you have a lot of concentration spells, like every other spellcaster. I get tired of saying it, but it actually is a downside, so I have to list it. Your intelligence is bad and your wisdom adds nothing, so you're a spell-rich target. Your stats could be better as well. The worst actually is the most fun. You're not a single character, you're 2. This will lead to fun role-playing, but depending on how your DM plays it, you could be at disadvantage if you and your symbiote don't get along. Get out there and be a hero, and make sure to let your symbiote eat a few bad guys every so often. If not, think about couples therapy because the 2 of you are going to be arguing a lot. Thank you for joining me today, and make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.